Hello again, Uncle Mike here. Would you like to read a book with me? Today we're going to kick off a series about courage. The stories we're going to cover are in this book, Against the Odds, True Life Stories About Courage. This book covers 4 extraordinary people, Christopher Reeve, Sacagawea, Charles Lindbergh, and Ruby Bridges. Today's episode will be on Christopher Reeve. Alright, let's go! Christopher Reeve, born 1952. Christopher Reeve was flying high, world famous for playing the Man of Steel in 4 Superman movies. He was strong, healthy, and happily married with 3 loving children. Then tragedy struck. Reeve, a talented horseback rider, took a disastrous fall from his horse. When he woke up 5 days later, he was paralyzed and unable to breathe on his own. Many people would have given up, but Reeve vowed to walk again someday. From his wheelchair, he now raises money for research into spinal cord injuries. Reeve's courage in the face of adversity and his desire to help others have made the former movie Superman a real-life hero. A super start. Christopher Reeve was born September 25, 1952, in New York City. He grew up in Princeton, New Jersey, with his mother, stepfather, brother, and 2 half-brothers. Christopher was the oldest of the 4 boys. Christopher caught the acting bug at age 9, when he was cast in a local production of a Gilbert and Sullivan play. He also loved sports. By all accounts, a tough competitor, he skied, raced sailboats, played goalie in his high school hockey team, and took fencing lessons. After high school, Christopher studied theater at Cornell University and the Juilliard School. By the time he graduated, he had several professional acting jobs under his belt. He dreamed of life as a star, making blockbuster movies and acting in serious dramas. Do any of you want to be an actor? Let me know in the comments below. When the first Superman movie came out, I was frequently asked, what is a hero? My answer then was that a hero is someone who commits a courageous action without considering the consequences. Now my definition is completely different. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. And that was a quote from Christopher Reeve. His big chance came when he landed the lead role in a high-profile movie, Superman. The 1978 hit made him a full-fledged star. In the next 17 years, he made 31 films for theaters and TV, including 3 Superman sequels. He also appeared in stage plays. At first, it was rough. Audiences identified him only with Superman, and some critics made mocking remarks about the Man of Steel when he played more serious roles. In time, however, things began to turn around. By 1991, critics were praising his work, and he had met the love of his life, actress/singer Dana Morosini. In 1992, the 2 married and had a son, Will. Christopher also has 2 older children, Matthew and Alexandra. Then, in May 1995, Christopher went to Culpeper, Virginia to ride in a horse jumping competition. He easily cleared the first 2 jumps, but something spooked his horse at the 3rd. The animal stopped suddenly, and Christopher was thrown over its head. He landed on his forehead and his neck snapped back. Ouch! The power to overcome. Doctors later explained Christopher's injury to him. Basically, his skull had been disconnected from his spinal column. An operation could reconnect them, but could not restore his ability to move. In his autobiography, Still Me, Christopher recalls saying to Dana, "Maybe you should let me go." Dana looked him in the eye and said, "You're still you, and I love you." Christopher has said that Dana's words made living possible. After his surgery, Christopher began intensive physical therapy, which continues to this day. He has to practice tasks that most people don't even think about, like breathing on his own and sitting up. Can you imagine practicing trying to breathe? At first, he says, he was terrified almost all the time. He was completely dependent on a mechanical ventilator, which pumps air into his lungs through a hole in his throat. If the tube popped off, he could die. 8 months after his accident, Christopher was able to go home. Wow, 8 months! That's like almost an entire school year. Can you believe that? Since then, he has dedicated himself to raising money for research on spinal cord injuries. Thank God I can be helpful rather than just take up space, he has said. It gives me a sense of purpose. In the year 2000 alone, the Christopher Reeve Paralysis Foundation gave almost $4 million to researchers. He also has made a difference by testifying before Congress. The federal budget for spinal cord research has more than doubled since he began speaking out. Now an expert on spinal cord injuries, he has convinced the doctors will find a cure. He works with physical therapists, so he will be ready to walk if a breakthrough is made. He has made progress, and now can move one of his shoulders and can breathe for 3 hours without a ventilator. Christopher has begun to act again. He started in a TV movie, Rear Window, which provided the voice for King Arthur in an animated film, The Quest for Camelot. In 1996, he directed his first film, In the Gloaming, for cable television. It was nominated for 5 Emmy Awards. Christopher Reeve's biggest contribution, however, is his courage in the moving forward with hope. It has inspired people all over the world. They'll read about spinal cord injuries. The spinal cord, which runs down your back, is a rope-like mass of nerve cells that conduct information to and from the brain. Signals to the brain enable it to identify conditions in the world around you. For example, they let you feel cold and when you step into icy water. Signals from the brain tell your body when and how to move, to hop out of that water, for instance. When a spinal cord is damaged, the brain may send signals saying move, but the arms and legs don't get the message. Unlike many parts of the body, such as the skin, spinal cords do not grow new ones to replace damaged ones. Scientists are searching for ways to change that, to help injured spinal cords heal. Speaking of courage, look at this picture, with courage in the background. In 1996, Christopher Reeve was awarded the Courage Center's National Courage Award for his work supporting people with disabilities. How cool is that? And this other picture, Christopher Reeve with his wife Dana and their son Will. Wow, could you imagine not being able to move any part of your body? That must be really scary. Especially when you think about all the things that you can't do anymore. Run, jump, play, swim. You know, he was really sad for a while, but then his wife helped give him hope and courage. But Christopher Reeve decided to do something with the rest of his life and dedicated his life to raising money for research on spinal cord injuries. I'm sad to say that since this book, Christopher Reeve did pass away, but he's left behind a legacy and a foundation that continues to do good work trying to find a cure for spinal cord injuries. Now that is the definition of courage. Well, that's it for this week. Join us next time when we cover Sacagawea. Bye for now. Bye!